Hi, this is Lorii, and we're having our first Facebook Live finally. And today we have a guest that's gonna be talking about how she quit her job and she set herself free. And of course, ReJoyVination is about women claiming me time. So it's Angela Jordan. We have known each
Hi.
other. Yeah, we have known each other for a while now, and I think since 2011. That was quite a while. And when I
Yeah.
knew her, she was still in Louisiana, and now she's actually in New Jersey. And Angela is actually a digital strategist. She turned network marketer and productivity coach. She helps women build massive success in network marketing by focusing on productivity, mindset shifts, and practical network marketing strategies. So, Angela, maybe you can say a little bit more other than those couple of sentences that I have said.
Yeah, sure. So, basically, like you said, we've known each other for a long time. I used to be a digital strategist and social media manager and copywriting. So anything that was in the digital space, I've done. And then now I went back to the workforce for about 4 years. So that's why I was MIA and nobody saw me. and I just recently, like you said, quit my job. So that took a lot of courage to sort of take back my life. And so I also found a great business model, which is network marketing, which I love. And that has really helped me to sort of, like you said, like reclaim, my life. So now I'm, teaching other women how to sort of move past those things. So, and really take their power back and through network marketing and also through being more productive, even in your whatever sort of business, or if it's even, if you have anything you're trying to achieve, just helping you be more productive in that as well.
Yeah. So, I of course like understand that there was a reason why you have quit your job. So, like maybe tell us what happened specifically because it's not only you. There are a lot of women who have been in the same situation. Like they want to quit their job. They're scared to quit their job because they believe that that's the only source of income. And if they quit their job, they're gonna be like
Right.
homeless or something.
Right. So, so I'm a little bit spontaneous and adventurous, as my story of how I got to New Jersey from Louisiana, and I moved up here with one suitcase. So I have a little bit of a advantage when it comes to that. But, I will share something that I don't really share that much, and I probably never shared it. I actually shared something about it on my page today. I don't know if you saw it or read it, but, it was about I was once upon a time in a really dark place. So, depression and yeah, I was just in a really bad place in that way. And it took a lot. It took a lot of work to dig myself out of where I was at. So I don't know if anybody can relate. If you can relate, if you're watching, drop us a comment below. If you could relate to being depressed or knowing someone who was depressed and someone who had to really fight to take back their life. It's the same for addictions, right? So same thing. So I came from a really dark place, so it really gives me now a different perspective, and I think that's why I'm able to sort of make those decisions and do what's right for me. So, one of those things when you are in a really in a bad situation, or you go to, I know people today, and I still do work, and I know, today when I left the office, a girl told me, she's like, oh, okay, we got one more day, meaning tomorrow is Friday. And I was like, really? Like I'm totally happy with what I'm doing, and it's a total change. But, I think you have to get to a point where you really value yourself and your time, and you have to believe in yourself and your goals and your vision more than it has to be greater than your fear. you know? So I had gotten to a place where, I realized that I was just sort of really out of whack. I mean, I was commuting, going into Manhattan every day. My commute is an hour and a half each way. I was working a job that was really high stress, really crazy, not spending a lot of time at home, not spending, time with my kid. And so it was really difficult. And I finally, and it did take a while. I mean, honestly, like, let's be honest. So if you're watching and you feel like, you've been kind of dragging, sometimes it does take a while, but I think that, you sort of have to get to that point. So when someone's ready, and for me, network marketing was kind of like a vehicle for me to sort of be able to move out of that job, because I took a massive pay cut. So it's the same thing as going from working to having no job, but I needed a different lifestyle. So I needed to sort of revamp my whole lifestyle. So that sort of was a vehicle for me. And so it can be, but you just have to kind of step out on faith. And I think the biggest thing for me is, I always say this, and I say it a lot in my lives and to, sort of my audiences, you know, a ball that is still, like, imagine a ball on top of the hill and it's just sitting there, nothing's happening. But once you push the ball down the hill, what happens? It picks up momentum and momentum and momentum, and things start happening, and you actually start attracting more things into your life that are in line with what you're trying to do. So it's just hard to, like, get it moving, but I promise, like, once you just, like, get over that little hump and, like, move it, then you actually can, you'll build momentum, and it'll actually, you may not know where you're going, but you'll always find your way, but you just have to go.
Yeah, yeah, I get that because, like, a lot of people, they're scared. So that's the reason why sometimes they don't even start anything. And so you're right. You said, like, just push it a little bit. And so, like, sooner or later it will get momentum because, like, the
Yeah,
only way for a ball to go is go and move
it
somehow.
has to
It's
start. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's interesting that you say that, because, it is the fear of just starting. And, you know, for, I think something that's really important for that is, um, just start small. It doesn't even have to be you do everything and jump off the cliff. You can literally wake up and you can pick one thing a day that you're going to start to implement a big change in your life. Um, so start small, and then that will still give you some momentum. So if you start small and you say, you know what, my job is not what I want it to be. I really want to go out on my own and be an entrepreneur. Start small. So maybe you start with, you know, building your social media presence. Maybe you start with, creating a post, writing a blog post a day, or going live once a week and talking about what you're interested in, and just sort of build your audience before you build a business. You know what I mean? Like, just you just start with something, and then once you start seeing that you can and you can achieve these things, then that will give you massive momentum, and it gives you more, it helps you build your confidence too. So if it's something really small, like you want to wake up every morning, that for me, that's kind of how it started. I think it's a really good way to start with trying to, like, achieve more and at a higher level, is the wake up challenge. So challenge yourself to wake up 30 minutes earlier, and then have a morning routine, because then you start to see, oh, I can do this. Like, I have been really big into doing EFT, so tapping. I do tapping in the mornings, and I, like, it's my thing. It's like my jam. I love it. But, like, I wake up in the morning and, do your affirmations, because everything starts, up here. So if you can, even if you can't physically quit your job, you can do something. So maybe you can work on your mindset. Maybe you can work on how to be more productive. Maybe you can work on your health. But any sort of shift like that, I think, is going to help you to even get started in when it comes to being an entrepreneur or wanting to quit your job and move forward.
Yeah, I like that because, like, that's true. You still, everything starts with a thought, and actually something like, saying something, and you have to declare it because once you declare it, then you're making it known all over that, okay, this is me. Like, the first time
Yeah.
also, the first time I, posted something which is all about, relationship, what I did is just like, okay, I just post this, whatever happened, like, I don't care what people say.
You
It's
just
just like,
started.
it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like,
And that's,
sooner or later, you will be surprised, like, okay, like, oh, they call me a coach now. Okay.
well, I mean, that's super interesting. I think, that you said that, you just put it out there, because I think also something that's really important too, and this is just in business in general, and when you're trying to build your audience and in network marketing, it's super important, but you can't always be attached to the outcome. So if you put a post out there, you can't always, don't go back and look at your post 100 times and see how many people liked it and see how many, if somebody shared it. Like, you can't be super attached. You just got to keep going and keep producing and keep putting yourself out there in a really authentic way, and not be so attached to the outcomes right away, because it's really the small things that builds up. So over the years, it's built up. And so now nobody has any questions about what you do.
Yeah.
Like, it's in your content. It's been, I mean, but it took, years, or it took time, and you built it. And now it's like so natural to you. You don't worry about the outcome of how many people like your post or anything like that. Like, you run in a business, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, sometimes we're so worried about the outcome. Like, oh, I posted, stuff 3 times this week on Facebook and nobody liked it. Like, it's not working. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work that way. But people are watching even when you don't think they are, and they watching your content even when there's no likes or comments on your content, by the way.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah. And then, like, I actually commend you because, like you said, that, it takes a while. People sometimes they see that, they're failing. And so, like, they get out of it because, like, okay, I'm not making any money. I have to get out of here. So, yeah, it's a matter of questioning, can I make it or not? And so, like, if they're questioning, like, can I make it, that makes it much more difficult because they're already accepting that they are going to fail.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And so, how did you actually like transition? Because you were saying, like, you left your dark part and then you moved to a different job, and then you were at the same time you were saying you're hustling and doing some other things. So how did you manage to do all of those? And you have a baby.
Oh my God, Lorii, my baby is 14 now.
Oh my God, I thought she is a baby. You don't look
She
like
was.
you
She
don't
was.
look like
She
you're
was back
14 years old.
then, right? No, she was back then, but no, now she's going into high school. But I think that's a good question, and that is why I really want, and why in getting back into business, why I wanted to shift my business and my focus to that very thing, because people are busy. Like, my whole people's concept of time is really crazy anyway. People always tell you they don't have time. People have time. It's the way in which people allocate their time is the problem. It's not the time. We
Yeah.
all have set amount of time. So I keep, it's a recurring thing to me. People are busy, they can't get enough done. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get more done in less time. So that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to dive into, doing this and doing productivity, coaching and giving tips on time management and things like that, because I want you, no matter where you're at, to be able to implement small things and little strategies to help you move forward, even if you've got a job, you got a kid at home, you cook the dinners for your family. So that's why one thing that I sort of live by is having, when it comes to business, is having a daily minimum, right?
Ah.
So a daily minimum. So what is your daily minimum? So what is the minimum thing that you are going to do and this is totally not I totally stole it from
Yeah,
from another
I
coach.
know that person.
I didn't make it up. I mean, I didn't make it up, and it's probably not even the same person. It's probably been passed from like person to person to person. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah.
I heard it on a training, and it really resonated with me. And so now it's something that I live by. It's like, what is your daily minimum? So if you're, if you get a flat tire, if your whole world is shattered, what is the minimum amount that you can commit to a day to achieve what you want to achieve? And that could be, like I said, for me personally, I have a daily minimum sort of with my health, with my business. It could be with your relationships. Your daily minimum could be, I'm going to spend 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with someone special in my life for our relationship, because that's very rare. I mean, if you really think about it, who spends 30 minutes completely uninterrupted? Probably no one. But I think, that's something that sort of helped me, because what I've really learned about, being successful is, it's really in the small things that you do day in and day out. And then it's also in, I think it's really great to track your progress, and also to really celebrate your progress, because that's what helps you keep that, momentum. So I think that has kind of helped me through the years to keep going, to keep building, is to just really see how far, I've come. And, like you've come a long way also, Lorii, but that's because you show up pretty consistently. Like in those years where I left, my business of being a digital strategist, and I went off into like corporate land, you were still doing your business every day, religiously. So I think that's the disconnect. Everybody wants something like change to happen fast, and when they don't see it, I often talk about weight loss and health, because it's such a parallel thing to being in business also. But like, you can't work out really hard for 1 week and then not work out for 3 weeks and think that you're going to have good results. You can't.
Yeah. You cannot just, eat everything that you like, right?
Yeah.
And then like, go back to diet again.
It's not going to work. So you'd be better off doing a daily minimum of, say, your minimum is you're going to walk for 30 minutes a day. You're better off walking for 30 minutes a day for 3 months in a row, rather than doing real hard, doing a lot, and then getting burnt out and not doing anything, because it's over time. You're going to lose weight. You're going to, like, one of my health things is, drink a green drink every day. So, I know I'm getting all my, I'm getting veggies, I'm getting good nutrients every day. And it doesn't like impact you that one day you drink one green drink and you're going to be like really healthy, and it's over time. So I have adopted this new sort of lifestyle, but it's really all about like lifestyle, change. It's not about, and when you're really trying to create any kind of change, so if you're trying to, reclaim yourself, it really doesn't have to be that complicated. It really can start with one thing. It can really start with one thing, and and then you can build on that. But I think that we overcomplicate things, and we think about, oh God, what am I going to do for money? What am I going to do for this? What am I going to do for that? And so it keeps us, we get so overwhelmed. And this is another concept that I love, Lorii, is that, people, we beat ourselves up because I think sometimes we think we're not working hard enough, or we're lazy. The problem is, it's not that people are lazy. It's that people are so overwhelmed that they can't even move, because you're thinking, if you're sitting here, if you're me, and I have this job, and I mean a good job, like a well over 6-figure, nice, cushy job, I'm making a lot of money. I mean, it was crazy. I did a lot of work for that, but you're sitting here looking at this great job, and what everyone else from the outside would think would be like, okay, she's doing well. And you're miserable inside, but like, hey, I got to pay bills. Like, it seems a little bit impossible. Like, how am I going to replace this income? Because I needed every single drop of my income. I live in an expensive area. Like,
No, because you
living
have a
for some,
child. You still have to take
yeah,
care.
and
And
I have a
it's not
child.
like,
Yeah,
your child is an adult who's working.
yeah, exactly. So, and I'm single and it's just me and her. And so, it's like, it can be very daunting when you're looking at it in the totality like that. But if you sort of break it down and you can pick one thing to do, and you can try to, like, for me, I think the thing that started to help me change from being in the corporate world to moving to getting out of that was I started reading again. And I had stopped. So I started working on up here again, and I took the train every day into Manhattan. So on the train, I would read or I would listen to audiobooks every single day. And it sort of is kind of what got me, it like lit that fire in me again. And I was like, wait a minute, like, this really isn't what I'm called to do. This really isn't what my purpose is. And this is not the lifestyle that I want. So that's how it started. It started with a small thing where I made a commitment that on my commute, I wasn't going to work, because I used to work on my commute on a computer. And then I would go to work and I work. And then on my commute back home, I'd work. And I was like, no, I'm going to take some time for me, and I'm just going to read, and I'm going to, like, sort of reclaim some of my own time. And I did. And so I think that's what sort of started the process. It was one little thing that I started doing that
Yeah,
helped
that's
shift.
that's really awesome because like I remember I have a friend like that too. Like actually this is a guy. And he said like, for 1 year, he didn't do anything, just read. After work he just read. And so like, later on he used it so that, he can be successful. Actually, he's the leading in their pharmaceutical company that he works with. So
Wow.
yeah, and you know how much the pharmaceutical people earns. They earn a lot of people, I
Exactly.
mean, money because like that's drugs. So
Yeah.
yeah, and well, I remember when he was challenging me, like he was saying like, Lori, you don't have to speak in the same monotone voice, and I was saying like, why? He said like, because he has read that, like you just like charming a guy, you have to like have a certain voice which sounds sexy, or sometimes like I was laughing when I heard that because like obviously he really made his reading serious. Like he really took it seriously that I want to really learn. So for the whole year he said he didn't do anything. He just wants to take his time. But actually that's also taking time because like if you put something in your mind, that's going to be your regular practice. Just what you're saying, you are actually putting something in your mind. And so like when you're putting something in your mind, more or less like it's going to be a regular practice. And
You're right.
so
Exactly.
yeah, and so maybe you can tell us like you were saying that you are also hustling with your 9 to 5 job. So tell us what you exactly do with your hustling, and maybe some other people can do and learn something from you.
Yeah. So what I do is I have a day job. So I work for a company. I do HR, like recruiting, and then I also manage the social media for this company. Um, and why I say, I work my side hustles around my job, and I really am super committed to that and to helping people do that because I think it's so important. And I really am at a place in my life where I really like my lifestyle. I like the structure that my job brings me, and I actually really like my job, which is so weird. I never thought that I would say that, but I do. I really like it. I really enjoy exactly what I'm doing. And it's 10 minutes down the road from my house. I sort of restructured my life where now it's 10 minutes down the road. It's really laid back. It's not super high pressure. I get off at 5. I'm home by 5:15. I can still have dinner. I can still, I can still get on Facebook Lives. I can still do all this stuff. But, so I started doing my, hustle around my 9 to 5. So some of those things are with my network marketing company. So, what I do when I wake up in the morning is I talk to people in the morning before I go to work. So so what I call it is, little pockets of time. So you realize you have pockets of time all through your day that you can be doing activities that are helping you to build your side businesses. And so that's kind of how you have to look at it. But, and you still have to be you still have to be planful about it. So in the morning, I get this routine. I think routine is important, and planning is important. So one of those other things that I like to do in the morning is, and this is the other thing, sometimes it's the hardest thing to do is, reach out and talk to people. And sometimes it's in the morning, I'm trying to close sales. I mean, I'll be honest, but that's probably, sometimes that's the most energy draining, but those are the things you should do first, because then you get them out of your way and you actually feel like you've been productive. And for me, I've already been productive and it's not even 7 a.m. And so that gives you, imagine you wake up and you've done the hardest thing of your day first. That used to be the hardest. That's why I do it first. It used to be the hardest thing for me was talking to people. Honestly, it's not anymore. But that's why I'm like, that's not really hard. But it is hard for a lot of people. So, but it's not hard for me anymore. That's why I'm kind of like giggling about it. I'm like, it's not really hard. But it's because I got used to it and did, routine. So finding pockets of your day. And I know that you've probably seen me, like, at lunchtime, I sit in my car at work and I go live to my audience, because that's just a pocket of time in the day where you're usually, and I still eat. The live stream takes me 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and I'm connecting, with my audience, and I'm building my business around my day. When I get home, my daughter wants my time. So I'm not just sitting. She's standing outside this door, like right now, waiting for me to be done to interact with her.
Yeah.
She wants my time. So it's not like I come home and I just work and, I'm in the bed I'm in the bed at 10 o'clock. I'm tired. Like, I'm ready to go to bed. So I don't stay up all night. I don't do any crazy things. I just find that, being super productive in the time that you do have. And that's what I want to teach people how to do, how to really identify what is important. And so this is part of the productivity coaching. What is really important to your business and growing your business, and how, because a lot of people don't even know what those activities are. A lot of people will spend more time fiddling on Facebook when that's really not the activity that's going to produce the most income for them, So, and the other thing, I will say this, like, when I was transitioning before I got this job, and I had, when I quit my, crazy job that I had a lot of income, and I was just living off of my network marketing income, and I was freaking out. It was scary. It was really scary. You know what I did? And this is why, I don't like to hear people's excuses a lot, because it's an excuse. I Ubered. I drove people around in the back of my car. I sold things that I wasn't using in my house. So I sold clothes on Poshmark. I've yet to do the going to the garage sale and buying the stuff and selling that. But, like, I would do that. Like, there's no excuses why you can't create what you want. Time is not an excuse, because I can show you time in the day to get the things done you need to get done. Money, not having the money to do things is not an excuse, because if you keep that mindset of you don't have money and you don't have time, then guess what? You're creating your own reality, and you're not going to have money and you're not going to have time. So if you're open to having money and having time, then you can learn how to create things and not be holding yourself, back. So those are just some things. Like, I will hustle and get the things that I need done. So there's time. You can create the money. Those are two common things that people say that, that holds them back. So that's kind of why I want to be in the space that I'm at, because I really want to help people sort of see around that and overcome that. And that is a real big mindset thing right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So maybe you can share us, like, since you're here, so how do you usually spend your personal time?
Oh gosh. That's a hard one. I don't do anything. So I will tell you, one thing I really enjoy is cooking. So I
Oh.
cook every day. I cook every day. So I I eat a pretty almost 100% plant-based diet, no dairy, no anything like that. And so it requires a lot. I don't eat out. I don't eat fast food. And that was also a big change. But yeah, I do a lot. You have to cook, and I actually really enjoy it. So I mean, I spend when I come home, it's I spend my time cooking. I spend my time watching reality TV. But that's how I spend my time. And then on the weekends, um, you know, I live by close to the beach, so it's getting time where that's why, Lori, that's why I love where I live. I live, you know, 20 miles from Manhattan, from, you know, Midtown Manhattan. I live 30 minutes to the beach. I live not even an hour away from the mountains. I live 20 minutes to the airport. I mean, I'm in like the greatest location.
Yeah.
So but so that's what that's what I do, like in the summer and when it's nice, where we go down the shore every weekend. Right now me and my daughter do tours of the vegan food festivals that are around here. So in the weekends we like to go like eat the different food because that's really fun. But that's what I do. And you know, I don't read a lot at night. It's kind of like um, at night after, like once I get home, I really don't do a lot of things. Like I kind of shut it down and have my own time. Probably after about, like usually at this time, I'm not, you know, doing much because I've already done the things in the morning and I do them, you know, in, like I said, I do it lunchtime in the morning is when I really work. And then I may have something scheduled for, you know, as far as work goes on some nights, but definitely not every night. And I really use that time because I think that's important too, um, to spend it with my, you know, spend it with my daughter. That, I mean, that's the reason why I quit my job. I mean,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
if I
So,
was gonna be like a crazy
yeah,
entrepreneur
yeah,
and like work all the time, then what? It's the same lifestyle. I wanted a different lifestyle,
yeah,
so that's why I did that. And
yeah,
that's why I like network marketing so much as a business, as a structure, because you don't have to be, you have a ready-made product, you have, you know, you don't have to work it the same as you working from, you know, building a business from scratch. A lot of things are already in place for you,
I
which
got it.
I like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Angela, maybe you can tell us, like, how can people connect with you if they wanna, network with you or probably
Yeah,
learn more about what you do so that they can actually, have their
yeah,
own, networking thing. Because, like,
yeah,
obviously there are a lot of people, actually women, they're stressed out because like they had the same situation as you, they have child and then they don't know what to do because like it's difficult to find a job for people who are taking care of young children at the same time working. So
yeah,
network marketing is actually a good venue to start with.
yeah. It definitely is. So, you can connect with me on my Facebook page. I'll drop the links below, but my Facebook page is Angie M. Jordan. I'll drop the links to my website is angiemjordan.com. As soon as you go there, you can sign up for the email. And then you can, you know, my friend, you can see me on here. You can, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
friend me or message me on my personal profile is totally fine also. And then I'll drop a link also. I have a Facebook group for working your side hustle,
awesome.
where we're going to start getting a little bit more ramped up and share a lot of, you know, productivity tips and things and how we can sort of do all these things that all of us like super women want to do.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you so much for your time, Angie. Like I know that
Thank you,
your
Lori.
daughter is waiting.
She is. She's probably right by the door listening to me.
All right. So I speak to you soon. And so, like, don't forget to let us update, keep us updated of, how's your losing weight happening, in your
Yeah,
area.
yeah, I will. I will. And
All
I'll drop
right.
those links down here for everybody.
All right. You take care. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Lori. Have a good
Bye
night.
bye. You too.